So now we're going to get to another top 5 list. We had one on Monday that we went down the top 5 7A schools, 7A teams in the MHSAA. Now we're going to go through the top 5 6A teams from our own perspective. So Blake, listen, buckle up, let's go, man. You ready with your top 5? Who you got?
All right, at number 5, I have Hattiesburg. I know they were in the state championship last season, but they lost a bunch of really good players. They lost their coach. However, I do like the new coach. I do think that they got a transfer quarterback from Georgia, I believe. I think they're really solid. They have Tristan Key still, another 5-star wide receiver, the best wide receiver in the state. I got to think that if you get that kid the ball enough, you should be a top 5 team in your class.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Hattiesburg, obviously, they had a tough ending to last year because they were 13-0, and then they ended up getting blown out in the championship game. But they did lose a lot of guys. We'll see how they adjust to just being a fresh new team with Tristan Keys staying there. But listen, man, I'm going to have to go with my own Terry Bulldogs right here at number
I knew
5.
you were going to do this. I knew you were
Now,
going to do this.
here's the thing. I'm not just using my heart. I'm using my brain a little bit as well. They're coming back with a good offense here. Rondé Baker is the running back. He was hurt at the end of last year, so they kind of trailed off at the end of the season last year. I think this year the key is staying healthy through the end. I think we're going to have a big breakout season for quarterback Brady Busby as well. The question on Terry is the defense, losing a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball, but I think they'll get it right by the end of the season. And again, Terry finished 5th 2 years ago in 6A, so this isn't completely unfeasible. I think Terry at number 5, that's a lot of heart, and also I got my reasons.
All right, at number 4, yeah, I don't have Terry on my list. Sorry, Terry fans.
It's
Number
hard.
4, number 4, South Panola, because tradition matters. I understand they haven't won recently, but they've been around the second, third round of the playoffs. I think they're definitely really good again. I think that they have all the pieces to possibly win a state championship. Now, do I pick them? No, but I think they're definitely a top 5 team.
And I would have to agree with you. I got South Panola at number 4 as well. Last year they were in the second round. They lost to Warren Central. Warren Central was a tough team in the playoffs, and they end up falling to them. But South Panola, just like you're saying, winning culture. They've been strong for a long time. You never know when the chains will break, and maybe they can make a run for the championship. But I do think they'll be a top 4 team.
Yeah, I think it's hard to not put them in your top 5 just preseason, just based off tradition and culture. And even though they haven't won the championship, they're winning playoff games still. It's not like they've disappeared in that aspect. Number 3, I'm going to go with Grenada. And I know this is very surprising. They won the championship last year, was in the finals the year before. They have a great big time wide receiver, Division One talent that's going to Mississippi State as of right now. I think they have a great coach in Michael Fair, and we talk about great coaches all the time. Michael Fair is in that list as well, so they'll definitely be really good. I do think that they've lost enough that I'm just going to pull back just a little bit. But Grenada's going to get mad, and they're going to send me a bunch of messages and say, "No, we're number 1." I go, "Well, maybe you are, but not right now, in my opinion."
Well, look, man, this is going to be a little different than Monday's list because I agree with you again. I got Grenada at number 3 as well. And listen, Grenada's been in the championship game both years since in this new 6A region since they reclassified everybody. They had a great season. Their only loss last year was to 7A Oak Grove. But I agree with you. They're losing a good amount of guys from that championship team. But obviously, they're still. Listen, we got them at number 3. There's no slight there.
No, no, not at all. I mean, I understand it may feel like a slight because they won it all last year, but we've talked
That's right.
about this. Kids graduate, and then your juniors become seniors, your sophomores become juniors, right? So it's a catch-22 to it, kind of in a way when it comes to high school sports. Number 2, I have Picayune. I think this is the season that they come back. I also think the South, and I hate to do this, but their record is going to be really good because they're playing in the South and who they have to play. I think that they are on a clear path to possibly the state championship game. And I think they are going to be maybe talking about close, maybe a 9-1 regular season. Picayune just has every tool. And they're going to run the ball down your throat.
That's for sure. I got Warren Central number 2, and Warren Central, you know, listen. Think about Warren Central's. They competed very well in the old 6A with the Brandons and the Oak Groves and the Pearls, and then they competed well in that region. And so now they're trying to bust out and be able to even win a championship. This past year, they were in the North State Championship, lost to Grenada. But I think this Warren Central team this year will be in the championship game. However, I don't have them as my number 1 team. I have them number 2.
Well, guess who I have as my number 1 team?
I think I could guess.
It's Warren Central. If you watch my TikTok, then you know I have Warren Central as the number 1 team. I have them as the favorite to win it all. This is the year. This is the year. They can play any style that you want now. I think in years past, there's been times where they've almost had to muck the game up to compete with teams that are just so much more talented than they are. However, this year I think they have the talent. They can muck it up. They can play any style that you want this year. They have I believe, a 3-year starter at quarterback who's the don't get mad at me. I think it's the coach's son. His last name it's Nash Morgan. I think, unless it's related to one of the other Morgans. There's a billion Morgans in Warren Central. So don't get mad. But I know the kid's name is Nash. I just think that team defensively always top tier every single year. I don't need to know who the kids are. I just know that they're going to be good defensively. I think they have the offense to score enough that pushes them over the hump to win it all.
Yeah, and I've got Picayune number 1. So we just have our 1 and 2 flipped. Picayune, listen, they took Hattiesburg right to the finish in that South State Championship game last year, and I think they'll be better suited this year than Hattiesburg. Off of what Hattiesburg lost last year and what Picayune's able to keep. They've got some real good players on their team, and they're a strong team as well. I think that this is the year that they come away with the 6A title, and so I got Picayune number 1.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a kid like Nolan Wilson on your defensive line, he's going to make it hard for any of these teams. And they have a dandy. I mean, they've had a couple dandies. I mean, they had the Jamonte Waller too. I mean, so Picayune is and the running back. Why am I blanking on the name? Man, he played at Nebraska. Either way, they had the running back a few years back as well, and another one that I think went to Stanford or something like that. But either way, Picayune has just produced that level of talent, so you know they're going to have that, and they're going to be physical. Seeing a Picayune Warren Central championship, that would just be it would be old school football at its finest. You know, you see all these other classifications throwing the ball around the yard, and then Warren Central and Picayune playing in this little box where it's just about the gridiron of, no pun intended, of football.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we have the same championship, just a different result there. But I'll tell you this. You said on Monday that you felt like, as far as the champion, that 7A would be the least interesting. Where would you put 6A? You think it'll be pretty? I think it'll be pretty competitive.
Yes and no. I think with these top 3 to 4 teams, I think yes, but I do not think that there's a sleeper team outside the ones that we have in our consensus top 4 that has a chance of winning it. So when we talk about how wide open, it's really not. I think there's only about 3 teams, Grenada, Warren Central, and Picayune, that can win it. So I hate to say this. It's interesting because I think there's a couple really great teams, but I do not think it's as wide open as, say, a 3A, where I have no idea. There are so many teams, a 1A and 2. Maybe 1A not as much, but 2A, 3A. No, I think 6A is somewhere in the middle ground of the competitiveness at the top. Yes and no.